Good morning, YouTube. It's your girl, Miss Honey. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. We made it. It's March 22nd, Monday. And it was a lovely weekend here in Georgia. I have been at my parents' home since Thursday, actually. And I was actually supposed to return home on Sunday, and my mom extended her trip by a day, so um, I stayed an extra day, and I had the forethought to pre-record my devotionals for you guys, which I love doing that. It's like triple whammies, you know what I mean? Like I go from one high to the next high to the next high, spiritually speaking, when I do them like that. But yeah, so I only did it up until Sunday. And once I realized I was going to be staying overnight Sunday and leaving Monday evening, I said, oh no, I didn't bring my devotional, and I just don't want to skip a day, right? Like, because we're going through it on a daily basis. So I want to make sure you guys have at least one devotional every day. And so I had someone go by my house, get the devotional, take a picture for me, and send it to me. So that is why you're seeing the devotional on my phone as opposed to the actual devotional book. Now, having said all that, let me say this. I love and appreciate each and every one of you guys who stop by every morning. And I feel like I have like a good clutch of people who look for the devotional every day. And I thank you guys so much. I thank you guys so much for your input, for your DMs, for your prayers, the whole nine. It means a lot to me. And I want you all to know that you are appreciated. Okay, so let's get into March 22nd. We're going to be talking about relationships. And our morning scripture comes from Proverbs 13:20, and it is the NCV version. And Proverbs 13:20 reads, "Spend time with the wise, and you will become wise. But the friends of fools will suffer." Oh, wow. Iron sharpens iron. I think we've had these conversations. We've had a bit of this conversation earlier on this month when we talked about talking with others about things that are going on in their lives and things that they could be doing better, that type of thing. But the text says humans were created for relationship. Ooh. We are hardwired to want and need others. Because of our design, friendships are vitally important to our lives and also to our walk with God. It is a widely known fact that friends either bring us up or drag us down. Likewise, friends can either encourage or discourage us in our pursuit of godliness. As we seek counsel from our friends for the decisions we make in life, it is important that those friends are pushing us to follow Christ and not our own desires. And then our prayer is, Jesus, I know that you desire that I have a good friends. Give me discernment even today to spend time with these people, with these people that are good and uplifting, and to keep away from the company of the unwise. Now, this is important, you guys. This is really, really important. And you guys know I've had struggles with being a recluse. Honestly, if it wasn't for my family and things like that, I would rarely leave the house. Like, I literally have everything I need. I don't need any more clothes. I don't need more shoes. I can go from season to season in my home. As long as I have food, and Wi-Fi, I would rarely leave my house, honestly. And I felt like it was okay. At the same time, I realized that that doesn't necessarily serve God's purpose, because people aren't going to ring my doorbell and say, hey, you know, can you encourage me? Can you support me? Can you? I mean, people call me plenty and want my advice and want to talk with me and want to use me as a sounding board and that type of thing. But I'm talking about, on a worldly perspective. We are meant to go out and matriculate and share our gifts and our callings and um, amongst the world. You know what I mean? Like, the gifts aren't any good just trapped inside your own four walls. Like, you need to go out and serve. Need to go out and lead. You need to go out and encourage and support and be of service, right? So, yeah, I've had my struggles with that. And when it comes to relationships, I've had my share of pains as well, being in a situation where you feel like you can trust people and you can talk to them and be yourself. And you quickly learn that people judge, which is why I'm not big on judging. I'm not big on saying, hey, you're such a sinner. You know what I mean? Because we all fall short. We do. We all fall short. At the same time, I've never had raggedy friends. You know what I mean? I've been in situations where I found myself in the company of people and I wasn't comfortable. But I wouldn't necessarily call those people my friends, you know. So, yeah. And also, you can get into a sticky place where every time someone sees you, you're giving them this high and lofty conversation. My thing is this: I never want to give anyone advice that I wouldn't want myself, right? And so if you come to me and say, "Girl, should I buy these shoes?" I'm not gonna say, "Do you have enough? You should give to charity." And did you pay your tithes this week? No. I'm going to look at those shoes and I'm going to say, don't you have some black ones similar to that? And we're going to talk about it. We're just going to talk about the shoes, right? Like, I don't have to bring God into the whole shoe decision, right? At the same time, if you come to me and you say, I've been immensely sad and I just don't know how to shake it, I'm going to tell you what I would want someone to tell me. I'm going to tell you what works for me. And that is falling on my face before the Lord and asking Him to be the lifter of my head, to lift my spirit, to get this thing off of me, to show me how, to motivate me, to move my body, to free my mind, to how can I operate under your peace, God, the peace that surpasses all understanding. I'm going to tell you to do what I do. And you ain't got to do it. And I ain't judging you for not doing it. I'm just saying, this is the advice I'm going to give you as my friend. This is the advice I would give a stranger, okay? Because when it comes to really fixing something, I have learned over my 50-something years, God is the only answer. He's the only door. He's the only window. He's the only key. That's all I'm saying. Now, let's go on to the evening. Let's go on to the evening, and then we'll talk a little bit more. Let me see how I do this. Okay, let me make this smaller. Nope. All right. So our evening version of Proverbs comes from the New King James Version, and it says, "He who walks with wise men will be wise, but the companion of fools will be destroyed. And it says here, your friends have the power to lead you closer to God or push you away from Him. Surround yourself with people who will echo God's words to you rather than lead you off course with their advice. Elevate yourself to make sure you are being the kind of friend who will lead others closer to Christ by your influence and your advice. Amen. And then our prayer says, as I reflect on my day, Lord, I can see those people that have been very encouraging to me. I want to be with people who are wise and able to lift me up in my faith. I also ask for the love and the grace to be good and wise friend to others. And then our question for ourselves today is, who have you spent time with today? Are they people that are wise and encouraging? You might need to keep a healthy distance. Who might you need to keep a healthy distance from? You guys, excuse me, but it's hard to read. Who might you need to keep a healthy distance from? Listen, this is important. This is important when our kids are small. You know, when they're in that 8 or 9 range, you know, cognitively speaking, it's time to start talking with them about the difference being between being treated kindly and being treated unkindly, so that they know that the difference and that they are able to decipher. This is how you help to build that discernment. I think we all come with a measure of it, right? And maybe we call it intuition, first mind, you know, second side. I don't know, but I know it all to be the same thing, right? That's that little spidey sense that tingles in you, something that tells you it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel good. You know, in that age range, middle school, you know, late elementary, early middle, high school, where you start cultivating these thoughts where they know how they're supposed to be treated, they know how they're supposed to be talked to, that type of thing. And then they know how to carry themselves around others as well, right? We might call it socially acceptable, but for the purposes of this devotional, we will call it spiritually acceptable, right? Same thing when you become an adult. How to navigate when you don't feel good about the company that you're in. And one of the things I always liken it to, you're at the office all day and you're with people and they carry themselves in a professional setting, and then people say, hey, let's go out after work, we'll have a lovely dinner and we'll have drinks and we'll just chill, you know. It's Friday, it's summer, we're getting off early, yada, yada, yada. And then you find that in that setting, when alcohol is involved, people kind of let loose a little bit and things can go south real fast, right? Especially if you're in mixed company. And you know, how does one not offend their coworkers, people that they have to work with, people that they have to assess and may have to assess you? You know, you bow out early, you bow out before the rounds of shots and stuff come, right? So, how to excuse yourself out of unwise situations and not become, you know, this judgmental, holy roller type thing. If it's not your thing, it's just not your thing. Like, I'm not a drunkard. I enjoy drinking um, in moderation, but I'm not a person that is sloppy. Like, I don't prefer it. And I don't do well with people that get sloppy drunk, right? Um, I had a good girlfriend who drank every day after work. And it wasn't a big deal, I don't think, for me because I never saw her, drunk. It took me a minute to realize that she was drunk. I just didn't recognize it as drunk because it wasn't typical drunkenness, right? um, she wasn't falling down and stuff. It was just little stuff, that she was doing. It let me realize that she was impaired. And I says, "Hey, girl, what's going on? That that you're not yourself." And we got to talking about it. And at first, it was a little defensive, and then we got to talking about it a little bit, and we shared some things with one another, and I learned some things that was going on with her, and she learned some things that happened with me, and we've been good friends for a long time. And it was just this moment where I was able actually to talk with her and to pray with her and just let her know that this isn't it. This isn't it. You don't want to go down this path where something that you enjoy doing has become a weight around your neck. And anyway, we worked it out. We talked about it. But here was a good example of me, I feel, giving her wise counsel. And I feel, noticing something and not coming from this judgmental place. And she's returned the favor for me over and over again, you guys. She's returned the favor for me. She has positioned herself where she has, let me know some things where I'm falling short. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, or I'm coming off a little bit this way or that way, or that was a little harsh what I said to person A or person B, and that at times I can be harsh, I can be curt, and it's not right. It's not good for the group. And I had to receive that as well. I had to receive that. I had to recognize that the way I was coming off was pious, was haughty, was know-it-all, and it's something I work on still to this day. But you guys, I wanted to talk just a little bit more about it. I'd love to hear some of your stories down below if you're willing to share that. Some of your experiences, if you're willing to share that. It's not always this overly gratuitous thing. Like, your friends are going to go rob a bank. Obviously you're not going to run with your friends with people that are robbing banks, right? But sometimes it can be a little bit more subtle, especially for girls hanging out with other girls, and there's over-sexualized behavior. There's this need to feel normalized. Even when you get an adult, there's this need to fit in, right? There's this need not to rock feathers. You don't want to come across a certain way. And, you can talk to a person one-on-one, and they can talk to you, or they can drag you down. Or you could drag them down. Your bad habits could drag them down. Your bad habits could be a bad influence on them. So on and so forth. But you have to be able to stand back off a situation and say, is this serving me? Is this serving my spirit? Is this serving my spiritual growth? Is this making me a better person? Iron sharpens iron. Is this making me a better person, a stronger person, a more solid person, a more well-rounded person? Or is this making me an individual who is not fit for consumption? Godly or worldly, not fit, right? Anyway, y'all tell me what you think. Y'all put it down below. Relationships are a tricky thing, especially if you're in a situation where you're married and you're with a spouse that has stopped growing, has stopped evolving, right? And you continue to grow and you continue to evolve, whether it be on a spiritual level or educational level or whatever. And they have stopped, but you're in this covenant with them. That's got to be a tricky place. That's got to be a tricky place, but with prayer and counsel from God, you can navigate those places. You can. It can be done. But you guys tell me what you think. Put it down below. And until next time, honeybees, I'll holla.